Hi, Saurabh.
Hi.
Hi, Ranjana.
Hi.
Hey, Shaman. Hello, Carmel. Just wait for a couple of more minutes, and then we can start. Hey, Sunny. Welcome.
Hi all. Hi Mohit.
Hi.
Hey, Garesh. Hey, Erika. Hey, Shamil. Hey, Advait.
Hi.
Hey, Dilip.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Okay, we can start. So today's advanced feature, the feature we are going to capture is the reports, data studio reports, and how we can capture the data from Glific and how it gets stored in BigQuery, and from there how we can create our reports from BigQuery to Data Studio. So I'll be executing a flow for myself, and then we'll be verifying it that the data is getting stored in BigQuery, and then from there we'll be moving forward to creating reports in Data Studio. So if you have any question, just please interrupt me in between. Okay, so I have created this flow. And I will be executing this one for myself. Okay. So I've started this flow. I'll keep responding to the questions. It is asking me to give opt-in. I said yes. Okay, saying provide your language preference. And set to, which is English. It's asking what's your name. Email address. Your organization. And what is the size of your community? I'll say 3. Okay, so it says thank you for your response. I'll quickly take you to the flows which we have created. I think almost everybody knows about the opt-in and the language flow, but I'll just cover that. So this was the first message when I started. I received to give my preferences, and I said yes. I would like to receive messages on WhatsApp from this number. After that, I was moved to language flow. Okay, so where I have provide my preferences that I would like to communicate in English. And after that, it goes to registration flow. So I'll be just opening that flow and I'll just explaining how it works. So in registration flow, generally, we ask some questions regarding the contact, like the name, email address, and organization and other stuff. So if you see like this, and this is the node which I want to actually mention in this update contact, where we are storing this information in BigQuery. Whatever we are receiving from contact. So we ask for the name, we receive the response, and then we save that in update contact. And again, it is with the email address. We receive the email address, and then we have stored it in a database, and so on. So at last, it asks for the organization name we provided, and then it asks for the size of the community, the engagement, and then it says thank you for your response, and the flow ends here. So I'll quickly open BigQuery. So this is kind of a typical BigQuery dashboard looks like. So we can click on this small triangle to open up the bot number which we will be using. And then we can click on contacts to see what all contacts we have. Like this, click on preview to know what all contacts details we have received from our bot. And the other important table is messages, where excuse me, we have information of the messages received and sent to a contact, right? Now I will quickly go to the flat fields. Flat fields is a table where we have it's a view. It's not a table. It's a view which is specifically showing the related fields data which we are receiving from the contacts. and then it's using it in our reports. So I have written a query where I'm getting the results in the flat fill in the descending order, so that I get a latest records in the view. So if you see, this is my name which I updated, which I have responded here. Then this is the email address. Then there's an organization name. And then I said 3, which is which in the flow it says, if it is greater than 5,000, then it says a large community. So if I go to BigQuery, so it says large community. So like this, we can capture all the information we want from contacts in our flow. And like this, we can update, like add labels or update contact, update those particular information which we have received in BigQuery like this. And from BigQuery, we can get this data into Data Studio and make reports or charts or any analytic details from this data. Anybody has any questions till now?
I do, Mohan.
Mhm.
So flat fields has what? Flat fields include the contact variables, data from contact variables,
Mhm.
tags,
Mhm.
and what do you call it? Collections also.
No, so flat fields is a view which we have created in the combination of couple of tables. Basically, it is contact and messages table, where
Okay.
we are extracting some of the information which is required, like these variables, and storing it in a view to make it easy to extract in reports.
So this has tags as well as contact variables.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
Not collections.
not collections.
Okay.
We can add collections if we want. From here onwards, the reports and the Data Studio, it's my colleague Shamoon who will be taking forward from here onwards. And probably he'll be showing you the query which we are firing to create flat fields, and we can cover this particular question there. Fine?
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody has any other question regarding the capturing data, in BigQuery, or how to, in a flow, how to manage it to take it to the BigQuery? Okay. Shamun, all yours. I'll stop. Yeah, I'll stop my screen. Yes.
Sure, I think let me share my screen and move forward with it. Let me know when my screen is up for you guys.
Yeah, it's up.
All right. All right, so today, as Mohit said, we'll starting with telling you about BigQuery and how we extract Glific data and how we use Data Studio to get that visualization for each and individual NGO. So we'll start with what is BigQuery and how it is used in Glific, and we'll tell them what is Data Studio and how it helps Glific in visualization multiple data, how we have used the reports so far with each NGO, and how we have made some custom reports based on consulting for some of the NGOs. Okay, let me start with about BigQuery in Glific. So BigQuery is a platform as a service that is provided by Google. It is like highly scalable, and so what we do is we don't store all the data that for each NGO in Glific itself. So after a while, we'll start deleting that data. Let's say after 3 months or after 6 months, that time is not decided. So we want each NGO to have their own individual data. And for that, what we do is we connect their NGO BigQuery instance to Glyfic, and that data gets stored in their BigQuery instance. And after a while, we'll delete it from Glyfic, so we don't have access to that data. And yeah, so that is like the primary purpose of a BigQuery. It helps to store a large amount of data, and it's, I think, very low of cost for an NGO, so that is really great. So next, I think when we connect Glyfic with BigQuery, so as soon as you connect, like store those credentials in Glyfic, there are certain tables that we create in BigQuery, and I'll just give you a quick walkthrough on what those tables are. So first, I think if you all have created a BigQuery instance, so you've written the name of the project. Inside the name of the project, we'll create a view that's started with your organization number. And when you open that, there are certain tables, as you can see, that we will automatically create once that is connected. So I'll just quickly go through each of the tables, and that will give you a highlight what data we store right now on BigQuery and how you can like make use of that to build your own Data Studio report if that is not already available. So I'll start with the main tables, that is messages. So what messages stores is it stores all the messages that we get in Glyfic or that we send from Glyfic. So the data, like, is it, let me just go through the schema. It tells us what's the flow is, if it's incoming message or outgoing message, if the message has errors or not, if the message has a media or not, and each message is attached with a label. So when, let me just go through a registration form. Okay, Mohit, if you can.
Yes, yeah. Give me a second. Sorry, I'll do that. Yes, you're good now.
So here, as you can see, this is adding a label part. So whenever someone sends a message till here, we add a label to that message, and that is stored in a particular message instance. So let's say this is the message body that the user sent, and here we store the label of the message, what the label should be of particular message. With this label, we can extract some data, like if the label is unsubscribed, I can check all the messages that have the unsubscribed label. So with that, you can get pretty much a good picture, like how many people have gone through this flow or how many people have sent messages. So that is primarily what message table does. Next, we have the flows table. Flows, we primarily store all the flows that, as you can see here. These are these are all the flows that we have created on our CollectCom instance, and those are all that will be shown here. If also, so the flow name and the details of the details. Next, we have the flow results table. So what flow results table does is, like, if I'll go here, and as you can see, this is a wait for response, and in it you can see this result name. So whenever someone sends a result, like sends a response, that result is stored in this variable at the contact name. This table helps us to extract that data, like what result has been sent, like this is the result, and what did the user choose. So with this data, you can primarily extract all the result data that is inside a flow. So this is primarily what flow results does it. Next, we have flow counts. So as you can see, there are certain counts below this of each node that represents how many people have gone through this node. This store, what is the current node and how many people have just gone through it, just the number. So that, and like what are the messages that have been sent through this node. So the recent messages. And finally, we have flow context that we have recently added. What flow context does is, like, when you see this flow, a user at a particular point is in any of these nodes. Like a user can be here, another user can be here. So what flow context does, it stores at a particular time, a user is in which node. So with that data, you can get like how many people have stuck on this node, how many people have stuck on this node, or how many people have gone through this amount of nodes. So this is primarily what flow context is. So these are the primary tables that we use to extract data. And now finally, I think as Mohit shared, there are certain things called views. What views are? They're primarily a table-like structure that we create based on a query. So if I'll show the contact, okay, this is the context. If I'll show the contacts table view. This is the schema, like what it represents. Here, as you can see, these are the contact fields. And if you'll see the type, it's repeated. So when you extract this data, it is a form of an array. Like if I'll show you here, it is a form of an array that the data needs to be extracted from this array. Like what are the labels and what is the data that is in fields. So for that, we have written a query. The query is something like this. If we'll go to details, like select ID, and we need to unnest the array and select what label you want. Based on this query, you extract some data from the contact fields. So for this, we have extracted the name, the email, the age group, and some other fields. And if we'll run this query, you'll get primarily all these fields. Also, we have, since we have the group's name also in the contact table, we have added that as well in this flat fields.
Hey, Shamun.
So when you start,
Hey, Shamun, I have a question. So Saurav was asking, do we have collections in fields? So if you're saying we have groups, that means he's right? We have collections data in field, flat field view.
Not the one that we provide when we start. At this, I think we have added manually. So when you start an instance of BigQuery, there should be something called routines. This flat field not be available at the start. So this is the query. This is the procedure. If you run this procedure, this view will be created.
Okay.
And this is the query that goes into this view. So it primarily extracts all the contact fields at the initial part when you run this procedure. So like I'll start it again. So when you start, these all views will not be there. Only these routines will be there. So there will be a flat field routine. If you will invoke this procedure, there will be a flat field view created. And that will get all the contact fields based on the query that we have written in the procedure.
Only the contact fields or tags also?
Only the contact fields for now. Tags are stored in the message table. Tags, by tags you mean the labels,
Tags,
right?
tags, yeah, labels. Yeah,
labels. Yeah, that is stored in the message table. That I think we can directly extract from there. We don't need to use that.
I have a question, Shamal here.
Yeah.
So these views and all, it is something which is provided by your team, and we cannot so I am from Naidisha NGO, so I do not have access to make any customizations to what fields I want to see and all, right?
No, I think you have, like, this is your BigQuery instance, so you can edit this query. Like once this is created, so if you want to say like I'm adding a new a label, so I'll just copy this and just replace this label by the new field that you've created, and just save it again. So this view will be saved, updated view will be saved.
Okay, so as long
But
as
yeah, I
that
think you
field
need a
is in that,
technical person, or yeah.
as long as it
Yeah.
is provided in the flat fields routine, we can customize which fields I want to see in my view, right?
Right, yes. So like primarily these fields are dynamically created. So each NGO has different fields. So what we did was we picked up the common ones that each NGO has. And the rest, I think, based on your use case, you can add or delete.
Okay.
Or we can have something that will be dynamic laterwards, but yeah, for now, I think it's static.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, I think let's move on to the data studio and visualization part next. So let me just give you a brief about Data Studio and Glific. So it is an online tool that's provided by Google that helps to create reports and dashboards. The good thing and a really great thing about Data Studio is you can link it to multiple data sources. So primarily we use BigQuery, and the second most thing that our NGOs use is Google Sheets. So we can get that data as well and like mix those data together to get a comprehensive report. We did it in many cases, and that really helps us a lot. And the good also the good thing, it is free for some part, like around, I'm not sure how much it is free, but it's quite free for most of the use cases of NGOs. Also, like if you want to extend, if you don't find a kind of chart in Data Studio, you can create that manually also. You need a technical person, but you can like get that also done in Data Studio. So that's also really great, a Data Studio feature. So what I'll do now is quickly, I'll show how to start with a Data Studio report from the scratch and connect a data source and show how you can get that data. So I'll just create a new report. I'll start with a blank report. So let's start for adding a connection. So I'll start my BigQuery, and this is my project. This is my organization number, and these are all the tables that you have seen in BigQuery that I can connect to. So I'll start with the message table, let's say, and So with this, the message table has been added to this report. Now what I can do with this table is here, as you can see, these are the available fields in the message table. So, and I can like manually pick these up and add to this table here. Contact name, or the errors that came, or whether the flow is inbound or outbound. What was the message title, or like what is the content of the message? So this is the content of the message. And additionally, like there are some filters that you can apply to it. Like I want just say I want a body which says hi. So include body that is hi. So it will show me all the bodies, like all the messages that has the content hi. And based on this filtering criteria, I can like use it somehow. After this, we have this multiple chart options, and we can visualize it in multiple ways, like a bar chart, how many people have done activity on a daily basis or a monthly basis. So this is like primarily how you get the data come into Data Studio, and use this as an extension to like connect your data and visualize it in any way. So there is very good documentation of that. If you can just like go through it, it's quite not non-technical friendly, I would say. You can just go through it and so like because most of the NGOs are non-technical. So what we did was, there are something called template reports in Data Studio, and we created one for our NGOs. I'll just quickly go through it, what it looks like right now. So this is a template report that we created for our NGOs. And I'll just go through each of the pages one by one and show what data that we have currently. So right now on our first page, we show all the total contacts, total messages, how many people have opted in or opted out on a daily basis, how many incoming messages are there or outgoing messages are there. In the next page, similarly, we have flow level, like how many people have gone through the flow, how many people have stuck in a particular flow, how many people have completed a flow. So this is quite a comprehensive report. In the next, like how many people have active contacts per day, messages, how many messages per day, when are the contacts mostly active, active contacts, and next we have how many people are engaging to us with the different flows, language flow, help flow. So this is the engagement rate. And similarly, we have all the contact details, like the language, and you can just search by like name or phone number. So this is the template report that Data Studio provides, and we have configured it. What each NGO can do is just pick up this report, and I'll show you how to like get your own instance of this report. So what each NGO will do is, they'll just make a copy of this report, and this is the data source of my BigQuery instance. and each one of you will have your own. So you'll just copy this report,
Hi,
and
sorry.
it will just create a copy of the.
Yeah. This is Grahesh
Yeah.
from Video Volunteers. I had problem connecting my data to this report, like user sessions. There was no user sessions table. So
Yes, yeah, I'll just go through it, like how we do it.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
let me know once.
Yeah.
So in this, you can see these are the 5 data sources that we have used. If we'll go, we need to reconnect it once again with your data source. So I'll just go for edit. And as you can see, this is a custom query that we have written. And in this, there's a data source that is here and that is here. So I'll put in my data source and that I'll pick from here. This is my data source. Right, and I'll just replace it with this because I don't have access to the Glific PQ data source. So this is connected and I'll reconnect it. So this is not tight SAS. So it will say to apply and I'll just apply it. So similarly, I'll do it for user sessions. Like this is also a custom query. And as you'll see, there should be a data source that is Glific this. I'll just replace it with my data source. And here also. Flow results and messages. Yeah. From this, I'll try to reconnect. Yeah, because you can see it reconnected. So there are 3 more, the contacts field and the messages and flag fields. These are all tables, so you just need to projects. This is contact, so I'll just click on contacts. Table will reconnect with my data source. Just messages. Like when you'll add these all data sources, you will see all the charts will be coming up here with your data. So with your data source, with your NGO data, so these charts will be coming up of all the 5 pages that we have already created, the reports, the flows, or the user sessions. So this is like how we create templates and how we want to share with you so that you don't have to go through like create all those charts again based on what each you have already experienced or done. So that is friendly how we are doing it right now. And we're trying to improve it more and more. So this is version 3. And in version 4, we have added these 2 new pages to get an overall picture of the flows and to get total contacts and messages. So yeah, I think we'll need your inputs as well to get a common set of charts for each NGO to improve this further so that you can just copy it and create your own visualization.
Hey, Shamul, I have a question. So as Shamul was asking that if will be making changes in the query, the by default query we have provided in this query, if they add or delete some fields in that, will these reports impact?
Yes, it will impact some of the pages. Like the 4th page, it depends on flat fields, or the 5th page depends on flat fields. So if that element is removed, so it will affect the default one. But if you know like what you changed, so I think you can configure it again. Just add the dimension, what was needed.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, good.
So one thing is like so from in our NGO, like we have encountered some use cases where we are finding it difficult to segregate messages Like, because we have multiple flows and which are for different purposes. So we are trying to explore like this, can we have multiple numbers, two numbers configured, like, you know, for our NGO, but there is some common data. So is it easy to access data across? Because when I saw the structure of, like, you know, where your two numbers, how the two numbers were configured, it almost looked like it's one number is one database, and then
Yes,
another
yeah.
number is another database, right?
Yes, this kind of.
So we cannot really access data across these two instances. Is that right?
You can access, like, if you like to Data Studio, you can access, like, you can
Okay, data
get
studio we
data.
can access, correct.
Yeah, you can get from those. I'm
But
not sure
like,
about BigQuery, but you should be. I think it's just a query from different data sources that you have access to. So let's suppose in this query, you'll just write that, like, types as this number or types as the number. So you should be able to access.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think data studio, it should be possible because it's just a report and we can use two sources for the report. I'm asking more from the, like, in my flows, like, you know, if I want to use data from another number, would that be possible? Like, you know, can we access data across the numbers on the flow side, like on the Glific application side,
Okay. So
the
you will have
platform
to.
side?
So on the platform side, like, if you have two different numbers for different
Yes.
programs,
Yes,
is this, yeah,
correct.
and you want to access this both of your data in the same platform, correct?
Yeah, like across these two numbers, can I access the data, like messages from the other number, whatever messages have come for the other number, can I access it into this other, like, you know, one number? If I say like the number one and number two, can I access the messages from number one into number two flow?
Access the messages.
Hey,
I think,
Shaman,
yes,
yeah, go ahead, Shaman.
like, for each number, you will have different data stored in, like, as you can see, for different tables.
Yeah.
This is second number, this is the first number. So I think you can just, like, merge those two messages table. So this data will be stored differently. Only. Data will not be stored combined.
Okay, so we'll have to do
You
some
can just
additional
query
work
it.
to
Yes.
additional work
Yeah.
to merge the data. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned something in the beginning of your presentation that that BigQuery data will be deleted after a while. So can you just elaborate more on that? I came in just now, so I'm not sure. Like, and I need to back up something on my side or something.
No, sorry. Yeah, I think so. In Glific, we have a database. That database data is stored in BigQuery for each NGO. So we'll delete data after a while from Glific, not from BigQuery. So this is, like, this will remain with you forever. This you don't need to check for anything. Glific data will delete after a while from Glific.
That does it impact me as a user of Glific?
So you won't be able to access after 6 months, before 6 months chat in Glific instance, but you can extract the data from BigQuery. It will affect in that way. I don't think so. Any other way to, yeah.
I'm unable to get that. So, like, does it mean that if I'm looking for some messages, 6 months old messages, like I want to do some processing based on that. So in my that Glific console, I will not be able to see those messages.
Yeah, for now, I think we have not yet deleted any of the data from any of the NGO. But we have initially planned, like, after a while we'll delete. So yeah, it's true. Like, if that data gets deleted, then you won't be able to search through that data, like 6 or 1 year old data.
I see.
But for now, it's there. We have not yet deleted any of the data.
Okay.
Yeah, Ranjana, you had some question?
Yeah, Ranjana.
Yeah. So basically, I was asking, what is the frequency with which you pull data from Glific database into BigQuery?
Yeah, it's around every 1 minute we do it. Sync with the BigQuery.
Every 1 minute.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
And it's incremental, I'm sure. right? Only the new data in the minute is uploaded. Is that the way it is?
Sorry, your
I
voice
missed
was
the last.
breaking. Yeah, Ranjana.
Is
Yes.
it
So like
incremental?
BigQuery,
That's only.
there's some issues, I would say. There's some limitation. Yes, for every minute the data will be synced, and there are some limitations to BigQuery. And because of that, if we sync, there are multiple data points for same entry. So we delete that after around 90 minutes. So after 3 hours, your data should be all good. But it gets stored after every minute. Yeah.
Okay.
I have one question which is probably not relevant to this presentation, so you can decline answering it here. So we have our platform data in MySQL. Is it if I, and then a lot of Glific data, like we are storing user registration and that kind of information in Glific, like BigQuery. So is it easy to migrate this data from BigQuery to any other RDBMS?
Since this is non-relational and that is relational, and I'm not sure, I have not yet done
We
with
can
it.
discuss
So
it
I'll
like
get back to you on this.
separately.
Yeah.
Shamal, just
I'll
to
check
add
with the
on
team
that.
and discuss. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add that you can export this data into an Excel and other format. And after that, if you want, you can add it in your other database if you want.
Okay, so export and load, like, okay.
Right. And let me share the document link with you here for exporting this. Okay. Anything else? Shamun, if not, then can we take Garesh's question now?
Yeah, I think Ranjana has a question.
Yeah, so I can't see flat fields table in my BigQuery right now.
So
But
yeah. Can you see routines there?
yeah, under routines it is there, but I'm trying to connect it from your sample version 3 report, but I can't see it.
So when you click on this flat fields, there should be an invoked stored procedure. When you click on this, then it creates the flat fields, the actual flat field.
Okay, I have to run that.
So this is yeah, you have to invoke this procedure.
Okay.
So this is the procedure that we have written to create that field.
Okay, and this is one time or?
This is one time. This is one time. So when you invoke this procedure, this will be created, and this will be one time. You need to run this.
Yeah, I can see it now. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
All right then. I think this was it. Thank you all guys for joining and making this session lively.
Thanks,
All right.
Shamun. Yeah, if we are closing that, I have a question to everyone. If anyone have any suggestions that what topic we should pick for the next advanced training session for next month. So you're welcome. If you have any suggestion, you can share it now, or if later, then please ping me on Discord. Anyone?
I have a question in case I can ask now.
Sure, Parul. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to know in case I'm in Glific, I'm giving a user input, and after the input, the next thing is coming a little, taking more while. Like usually it comes in a 2-3 second. At times, if it is taking 6-7 second kind of a thing, what could be the issue for that? Like, is that more responses and branches? Does that make a difference in the response time?
Generally, it doesn't. Shamu, do you want to take this question?
Generally, it depends on multiple factors. Like if it's a large image, so it takes time. or there's multiple parties involved. So there's WhatsApp, there's Gupshup, there's Glific. So in either of these, if there's some delay, so that can be one thing. So there are multiple things that affects sending or delaying of the messages.
Okay,
And
images is not there. It is only text messages I'm talking about.
so there can be a delay with like Glific system because too much load is there. There can be a delay because WhatsApp is not responding or the Gupshup areas are not working fine. So these two can be the primary, but like most of the time it doesn't happen. It happens in rare
Okay.
cases.
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Parul, how frequent do you feel that? I mean, have you experienced this frequently or?
No, in just one of our flows, we are experiencing this. So maybe at our end also. So we will just figure it out. I just wanted to check what could be the, like if the responses are more or the branches or the conditions you add, does those things make a difference or not usually?
Okay.
No, I don't think so. That
But generally, if with any specific flow, if you're testing at a specific time, do you see this delay? Just please ping me on Discord. Then I'll engage technical team to investigate if there is any specific reason of these delays.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome.
Mohit, quick question.
Go ahead.
So while working on Glific, I mean, creating the flows, if I'm logged in for a while, say an hour or something, I've seen key I get logged out in the middle of it sometimes.
Yes.
So like if I'm working for like 2 hours, I'll get logged out for 2-3 times at least. I've seen. Just letting you know.
Yeah. So while working, probably you will be, if there is some idle time on a browser, then we have.
No, not idle time, as in actively working, like editing the flows then.
And you have opened multiple windows of
multiple tabs.
Multiple
Yes.
tabs. Okay. And means this is very frequent, right? Means it's not one time.
It's like if I'm doing something for an hour, it does happen at least once or twice. I've seen it in the middle of it while I'm typing or creating a flow, editing something, it just logs me out.
Okay. Shaman, you were saying something?
I was saying I think this issue is there and we are trying to figure it out somehow. So we are still looking into it. Give us just some time. Yeah. I think.
Sure, just letting you know.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you both.
Yep, welcome. Okay. Any suggestions for any topic for next time? Okay, if not, then thank you everyone for your time today. See you next month.
Mohit, can these PPTs be shared to us?
Yes, a PPT or the recording will be shared with you.
Okay, sure.
I'll check. Yeah, because this PPT will also be there.
There's a PDF document also. If it is shared, it is good enough for the future references.
Yeah, sure. I'll check with Shamun and see if we can share this one.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yes,
Hey, by the way, this is Ranjana. I just wanted to share with everyone that there is going to be a general Glific webinar, which just is an introduction to the chatbot, and this will happen on Friday at 3 on 3rd of June, Friday, 3 p.m. So I'll send a note regarding that on the NGO support channel of Discord also. But if you have any new people that any people who may be interested in learning about Glific, definitely let them know. That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.